Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Hello there. Okay, I saw the movie Namastey, London. And okay, this movie starts off at the end of the movie, only to go back like a few months ago. And yeah, this is basically about, well, mainly one Indian family who lives in London and their daughter. It follows their daughter. However, there are two Indian families in London who are friends, and one of them has a son, one of them has a daughter. The son has fallen in love with a European woman who basically wants to change him to, you know, become Baptist, to prove he's not a terrorist, to prove all these little things, just like, oh my gosh, simple-minded people, yeah. And then the female who just doesn't like the color brown, I guess. I mean, I think she says that at one point. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, this movie didn't really work for me at all. Mainly because of one thing in the movie. So she's been like going to parties, things like that, and her father, who wants her to marry an Indian man, and she's been like refusing it all, literally takes her to India and sets her up on like this dating site where you just sit down and have suitors approach you and you just interview them there, but then if it matches, you just like, in my mind, it's just like, how could that work? I mean, that's literally forcing someone into something at that point. That there's no way that would work. Okay, and so he ends up taking the family to his hometown, I guess. Subtitles are always like, okay, but yeah, to his hometown. And literally a guy falls in love with her at first sight. This is where I draw issue, is her father was really excited about the marriage and everything. So literally set them up. What I take issue at is they did the ceremony, they did everything, and then she literally broke his heart by saying, okay, we won't do anything till we go back to the States and take care of everything else. So as a good man, he waits, they go back, or not the States, sorry, the UK, whatever. They go back to London, and he goes back to London with her, and then she starts laughing at him, how it's not real. It's a joke. There is no way well, I guess in her terms, it was civilized society would say that their marriage, the way they did it, would be considered a marriage, because there was no paperwork filed. It was just the ceremony type thing. And it's like, well, there is truth to that, but at the same time, before she left, was proposed to by another. My biggest issue is, if she would have told this nice guy before she tricked him and broke his heart that, oh, there was someone else who has already proposed to me, him being a nice guy would have backed off. If he would have said, no, we're doing this, you have no say, then I would be in total agreement that, you know, she could take advantage of him. But no, she doesn't even offer him the option to have a say. And I just like, in my mind, I'm just like, what the heck is with this new society of women that take advantage of men? It's just like, there's Bella, there is in Twilight, there is Teresa in Maze Runner, there is Katniss Everdeen in the Hunger Games. It's just like the list goes on and on and on, who just manipulate men in order to get what they want. Of course, here she ends up realizing he is the nicer guy, he is the better guy, but it's just like, if a woman did that to me, no. Honestly, it'd probably be more worse than just leaving in a broken heart. It would be like, no. Yeah, but that's the thing, it's just like, what? Seriously? This is your rationalization here? This is what you say is, like, no, this doesn't make any sense to me, at least. Why would, that's the thing. That's like the big issue in the entire story for me. If they would have just introduced that, because if anything, they could have introduced that, and instead of doing the wedding thing, he could have just been like, I understand. And then just kind of fought for her, gone to visit with her, been her friend, been a confidant that she confides in, just be someone close to her. And he was just like, that's how you do it. You don't make her a heartless, just because. However, I do have an issue with, because they always try to make Westerners look trashy and a mess. But from what I see of India's movies, at least, you know, it's just one of those things, just like, it's hard to just assume. You can't. You really need to go around. However, I do know how I'm mixed. So it is easier to see. It's like the outside looking in, seeing the families who are completely, you know, all pasty, I'll say. If they're not raised right, that's just the thing. If families are raised right, it has nothing to do with genealogy. It has to do with how they're raised. I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm bad, but everyone makes mistakes. It's just one of those things. I know I'm gonna make mistakes when I have children. It's just, what is it? You mess your kids up in your own special way. That's what I like to say. When you have kids, you mess them up in your own special way, because you're gonna mess them up. There's no way you're ever gonna get it right. So so it's just like one of those things, just like, okay, why do you keep trying to say that just Westerners are just bad? Westerners are just bad. I guess the ones who are constantly going out and partying and things like that, I guess you could assume, but at the same time, it's one of those things. However, they did make them all seem heartless. Like, there's this one scene where they're on a yacht and they're just, constantly making fun of India and just like their culture. And in my mind, I'm just like, wow, it's just white people who are very uneducated. Because heck, I knew more about India than most people before I even started watching movies from India. Well, I just love history. Just love history. It's one of those things. Yeah, but it's just like, yeah, very, very, very just like simple-minded people. I understand there are a lot out there, but there are also a lot out there in India as well. It goes both ways. I always have issue where they just try to make it out to where one side is bad and they just make it look completely that way. And the only reason their kids are bad is because they were raised in Europe. It's just like, no, you just did a terrible job raising them. That's the only explanation. You didn't teach them otherwise. It's just the fault falls on the parents, not the society they're in my opinion. But what do I know? I don't have family. But yeah, it still was an okay movie. It's just that one part which was at the beginning really did aggravate me. I kept trying to forget that. But every time they kept bringing it up. Like, she was like, I need a divorce, or they were dancing and she was like, oh, who are you gonna get married to? And she's like, I am married. Because in his mind, he was already married. And she's like, that's heart-wrenching. I guess they did that because she looks guilty, but at the same time, they could have done it without making her such a terrible human being. Oh well, yeah, that's, the movie is good, but it's not good for that one particular reason. So watch at your own risk. I don't know where I watched it. Yeah, it might be on Netflix. I don't have it on my other ones. Thank you all for watching. Talk to you next time. Toodles!